Hey, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Rose Packer and I'm a paper craft artist who uses mostly Stampin' Up products, the amazing range from Stampin' Up. Today I've got an awesome little project for you. It's just a simple, fun card to make, one that is, just simple and fun and great design. So it's a really good one to keep in your stash for when you need something quick and simple to make without too many layers. This is a great card for you. So let's get going with that. Let's head over to my craft station and get started. Okay, so this project today uses some designer series paper, and I've chosen to use the February product of the month pack, which is the Painted Illusions pack. That's the name of the designer series paper, Painted Illusions. Now this pack, it's called it's part of the product of the month promotion. So this pack itself is, it features 4 different designs. So yeah, they're double-sided, of course. So this is one of them. I think I'm going to use this one. And this is the second one. Third one, it's got lots of yummy colors in there. And then some leafy designs. Okay, and then on the back, we've got more subtle sort of designs. I like this one. It reminds me of mermaid scales. Some flowers, some other little flowers in a diamond kind of pattern, and a mosaic. So yeah, so fun. I think I'm going to use this one. So this is available to purchase for $9 for the whole pack. You get 4 different designs in the pack, as I said, and you get 3 sheets of each. So the pack itself is 12 sheets. So as I said, it's $9 for you to purchase when your product order is $125 or more. So that's Australian dollars. So if you live in Australia, you can set up an account with me and shop with me. If you're outside of Australia, but in a country that doesn't have demonstrators, you can still shop with me. You just need to organize that with an Australian freight forwarding company. So so a few things to think about there, but workable. Alrighty, let's get on to today's project. So we are going to team this one up with a couple of white pieces. So I've just made a card base in basic white thick cardstock. So A4 cardstock cut in half, and then we've scored our half in half again, and we're just going to crisp that with a bone folder. Always a great idea. That way it sits flat, so that you can work on it rather than it popping open all the time. So that's our card base. We're going to pop that aside for a minute. We also have a layering piece. Now this is about 95 mil by 140 mil. And that's just regular basic white cardstock that we have. So we're going to set that one aside for a minute and work on our trimming down our designer paper. So I'm going to just look at which piece of the pattern that I want to use. I think I'm going to go with this side. Okay, so let's bring in our trimmer, and we're going to slide this one in here. I'm going to cut at 85 millimeters. Just move my scoring blade out the road. Okay, 85. Okay, and now we want a piece. Now we want this piece to fit underneath our white piece. So that's why I've cut it a little bit shorter. And I'm going to be a little bit naughty and actually use this section. Am I? Oh no, maybe I'm going to use this section. Yes, I'm going to just trim it here for now and do 135 from here. Okay, because I want a little bit of the green, but I want some of the, I want this beautiful vein here. So this is going to sit underneath here and be covered up. So that's what I want. I don't want it poking out the sides. So, alrighty, let's move this out the way and move on to our next section. Bringing in my die cutting machine here. All right, let's do that. Now, what I'm gonna move it and then I'll move it again. All right, so you can see my plate. Now we're going to bring in our layering piece, and for this section, what I'm gonna do is use the large alphabet letters. So that is this die set here. It's huge letters, beautiful for scrapbooking. Yeah, and it's got a couple of little of the main accents and things, and some sort of other little accenty pieces for letters for different languages. So it's really cool. Yes, this is called Party Alphabet Dies. Love those. Very, very versatile. Okay, so we're just using these 3 letters today. HBD. Yes, we're making a happy birthday card. So what we're going to do is just line these up in the center. Now, I'm just going to eyeball it because that's just like, I'm not stressed if they're a little bit crooked or a little bit not perfect, because this is a handmade card, right? I just need my post-it notes. I'm going to hold these securely so they don't move when I put my top cutting plate on. Okay, I'm going to put in 2 here. And this just helps to keep them in place, like I said. Okay, so it's good. So we'll run that through the machine. Okay, I'm going to bring this through so you can see it pop through. Okay, peeling these off. Now, what we want to make sure that we don't lose is our little pieces in the middle. So, because they're going to play an important part. So, for this project, I'm actually going to use the negative space rather than the letters themselves. The letters I'm going to keep for another project, another day, but today I don't need those quite so much. So I don't need that one and that one, but I will need this guy. He's going to help me in a second. So we've got this piece. We've got our little pieces in the middle. I've got this guy and this guy. Now these we're going to use as templates, and I'll show you why. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is adhere our designer paper to our card front. So let's do that with some multi-purpose liquid glue. Really love this for paper to paper bonding. Works beautifully. It's nice and easy. Okay. So we're just going to pop that one in the center there. Okay. And we are going to adhere this one over the top. Just like that. Really cool, huh? Like I said, I told you it was nice and a nice simple one for this, nice simple one for today. It's a good one to have in your design for card making. I'm sure that you could use the principles behind this design for some fun memory keeping and scrapbooking as well. That might be something that we can revisit. Okay, let's see. So I'm just going to stick that on there. All right. Good stuff. Beautiful. Loving it. All right. So remember I said these guys are going to make act as templates. So I'm going to pop them in to where I cut them out from. And that's going to help me stick this guy in. All right. Now we'll grab this little guy, lift our letters out. Perfect. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do is add a sentiment. And I've decided that I want to go with something that really pops. So I've gone with a color called Melon Mambo, which is like hot pink. I know. You can use this design for, male or female, card, I think. And, you can jazz it either way based on the color that you might want to, use to highlight for, you can adapt it to your friend's favorite color. So I'm just going to use a very simple happy birthday, and going to get some white cardstock, and we're going to pop that out this way. I need these guys in a second, or this guy, I think. Okay, so we've got Melon Mambo ink. We're going to ink him just gently. It's a very fine stamp. Okay, I'm going to put this one here. So there we go. Okay, so this stamp is from the Sweet Jar stamp set. So it's the happy birthday there. And I like this one. It's quite decorative without being too over the top. Just got little tips on the ascenders and descenders. So it's really cool. All right, so as you can see, I've stamped this guy towards the bottom. And so what I'm going to do is trim him down a little bit tight. There we go. All right, and we're going to pop this one on like this. Okay, so just going to pop a little bit more glue, just a little bit here and there. Okay, now I'm going to just pop it in from the edge because I'm going to create some flags on the ends. So I'm just going to trim it down a little bit more tightly so that we've got a nice even border at the top as well. All right. Now you can do this with your scissors if you like, with your paper snips, or you can do it with your trimmer, whatever works for you. So I'm just going to trim it down that way, and then do it like that. Okay. So that there is our sentiment. Last little thing is just adding some flags. So I want to find the center of the short side and just snip up a little way, and then from the corner to the top of the snip in the middle, we'll pop in another snip on either side, and that will create a nice little flag. So that's pretty cool. It just adds a little bit of detail without being too decorative and distracting, which I really like. Okay, now this guy is gonna go right in the middle there, or maybe we'll pop him over the bottom. Nope, in the middle. I like him in the middle. All right, so I want to add some dimension. So I'm going to bring in some of my mini dimensionals today, and we're going to pop some of those on. Alrighty, one last thing to do is add some blingy bits. Okay, so I'm going to use some pink gems. Now they're a little bit lighter, but they will do the trick. So I'm just going to pop on a couple. Let's see, I'm going to put one here. And I'm using some of the bigger ones today, normally, and one of the medium size. Okay, we're going here. That's what we're doing. Alrighty, beautiful. Okay, so as you can see, a nice, cute, quick, fun project, and it really showcases that gorgeous designer series paper. Now, obviously, as I said, this is a great little design to have in your stash of card making. And yeah, you can use any sort of designer paper that you have and any color combinations. I think, you know, something that's lighter, a lighter tone that goes with a black to make it pop would be pretty cool as well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you take the inspiration shared here today back to your craft room, and they inspire your next project. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.